So, I read a book that promised to change my life in 2018, and I finished it in 2018. My life changed in never. Yeah, I still procrastinate. I still doom scroll. Still myself tell every Monday that यार Monday से ना सब सही कर लूँगा. Every single Sunday night, like it's a ritual at this point. It's a religious ritual. I renunciate this vow every time, and guess what? I fail every time. But recently, I actually, sat down and figured out why that book, Atomic Habits by James Clear, didn't work for me. Turns out I read it like a novel, and you're not supposed to read it like a novel. You're supposed to read it like a manual for a machine that is unfortunately you. So, here's the entire book in 10 minutes, free of cost, better explained than the books, and I will be taking no questions. Everyone wants a transformation. One big movement, Rocky montage, before after photo, like something dramatic. Atomic Habits' entire personality is built around one savage sentence. You do not rise to the level of your goals, you actually fall to the level of your system. Translation: it doesn't matter that you want a six pack, it matters what you do on a random, boring, forgettable Tuesday. Nobody's apps are built during the montage. They're built during the 500 Tuesdays nobody's filming about. This is why goal setting apps feel amazing for exactly 3 days and then die quietly. Like a Wi Fi router, nobody unplugs, but everybody forgotten is even doing anything. Here's the one visual from the book that lives rent free in my head. Improve 1% every day for a year, you're not 1% better, not even close. You're 37 times better. Compound interest. But for your personality, dude. Like, imagine decline 1% every day and you basically go back to zero, man. Because 37 times you can't go back. You can go back only once. But there's no upper cap for how much you can grow. So, but the problem here is that 1% feels like nothing. Reading one page doesn't feel like progress. Doing one set of push-ups doesn't feel like progress. So we quit because our brain is wired to want evidence today, not in 11 months. Here, the James Clear's point is that habits are compound interest of self-improvement. You don't notice the difference on day 4, but you will absolutely notice the difference on day 400. But the tragedy is, most people quit on day 12 and conclude that compound interest is fake. Which, no, bro, you just didn't like wait for the graph to do its thing. Now, this chapter is one of those that should have been the whole book, honestly. Most people set outcome based goals like I want to lose 10 kgs, I want to top the batch. But cool, yeah. But outcome goals are about what you get. The book flips it. It focuses on identity based habits about who you become, right? So, for example, an outcome goal would look like I want to read 20 books this year. Good. And whereas an identity goal would look something like I'm someone who reads. So you see the difference here, right? One is a checklist and other is a personality trait that you're actively voting for. Every single day, one small action at a time. Every time you do a habit, you're casting a vote for the type of person you want to be. Skip the gym once, fine, one vote goes to the lazy person. Doesn't matter. Skip it 40 times. Congrats! The election's over. The lazy guy wins. And guess what? The only candidate in the election was you. And the only person who won and lost was you. It just depended on which side of the equilibrium you casted your vote on. The goal was never run a marathon. The goal is becoming a runner. Because a runner doesn't need motivation to run, it's just what to do. Like how you don't need motivation to check Instagram. Nobody's out here manifesting the willpower to open Instagram. It just happens, right? That's the energy you want, except pointed at literally anything productive. Okay, mechanics time. Every habit, good or bad, follows the same 4-step loop. That is cue, craving, response, and reward. Now, basically, let's take an example, right? A very familiar one. Your phone buzzes. That's the cue. You want to know what it is? That's the craving. You check the phone. That's your response to the craving. And you get the dopamine hit in return. For example, it's your girlfriend texting. I mean, if you have one, then congrats, it's a reward. You get a dopamine hit. Now, you have done this 6,000 times without a single hour of training. That's how good the loop is. Meanwhile, you have tried to build a gym habit for 6 years and it's still not automatic. The loop doesn't care about your intentions, it cares about the design. So, here's how to hijack what you actually want. I have divided into laws. So, if you say law number one, make it obvious. Bad habits thrive in ambiguity. Good habits die in it. Solution: habit stacking. Formula: that is, after current habit, I will new habit. Yes, it doesn't make sense. Let me explain. For example, I brush my teeth, normal habit. I will do 10 push ups, a new habit. You're not creating a new slot for like a totally alien habit here. You're parasiting off a bit of a habit that already runs on an autopilot for you, right? And also, visual cues matter more than the willpower. Like, if you want to read more, put the book on your pillow, not in the drawer. Want to eat less junk? Don't keep it in the house. Easy. You're not stronger than your environment. Nobody is. So stop pretending to be. The law second says make it attractive. Pair something you do with something you want to do. For example, temptation binding. Like, I only watch like any of your brain rot shows while on a treadmill. Congrats, your dopamine and your discipline are now in a business partnership. Whenever you want to watch your show, you go on the treadmill and you run it on. This way, you're running a cardio habit while completing your show. Like, I mean, yeah, you have to. And then you come down to the third law, which also is about making it easy. Now, it's one of the most disrespected law and the most important one, by the way, right? Because the 2 minute rule says that scale any habit down until it takes 2 minutes. Read before bed becomes read one page. Workout becomes put your gym clothes on. Sounds like a joke. Obviously, it's not. The goal isn't push up, the goal is not breaking the chain. Showing up is 90% of the war, the rest is logistics. Also, reduce the friction of good habits, increase the friction for bad ones. For example, sleep with your phone in another room if you're a 2 a.m. scroller. I'm not saying this because I read in a book, I'm saying this because I ignored it and I know exactly what happens. And then we'll come to the last law, that is the fourth one. It says make it satisfying. Because human brain prioritize immediate reward over the delayed ones every single time. That's why junk food beats meal prep and Instagram beats your assignment. So give yourself an immediate reward for the habit you're trying to build. For example, a habit tracker, checking off a box, whatever, don't break the streak, is genuinely underrated psychological weapon. It's the same brain chemistry Duolingo is exploiting you, except now you're exploiting it back. The most honest chart in the book, and the reason everyone quits at the worst possible time. Picture an ice cube in a room that's slowly heating up. 26 degrees Celsius, 27, 28, nothing happens. Looks identical to when it started. Then 32 degrees Celsius melts. All that wasted heating wasn't wasted. It was compounding beneath the surface that wasn't showing anything. Every habit between day one and the day it clicks, you cannot see the progress happening. This is why people quit gym at 3 weeks, quit content creation at post number 8, or quit a diet on day 11, right before the actual melt's gonna happen. Not because the system failed, because the human demanded proof before the universe was contractually obliged to provide any. Strip away everything, and the book is basically saying stop trying to be a different person overnight, start being 1% more of a better. than you were today or in the past, and in the most boring and unremarkable way possible. No 5 a.m. club main character nerds required. No new year, new me. Just obvious cues, easy first steps, small rewards, repeat until your identity quietly rewrites itself while you weren't looking. So that's the Atomic Habits in 10 minutes. Which, if you do the math, is roughly how long it took me to build zero habits after reading the actual book in 3 days. Anyway, one small habit today. Not the gym, not the 5 a.m. wake up, just something stupidly small. And I'll see you when I've compounded into a marginally better human.